Hello, awesome people. I hope you're having a great day today. I thought I would just knock out my next episode in the Serial Saturday for you folks. And this is a Saturday that I dedicate to the lost, forgotten storytelling genre of medium of telling stories in parts rather than more collectively and so forth. It really helped to sell out a lot of theaters, including this one from 1938. It was the highest grossing serial from that year. And this is Columbia's. This is The Spider's Web in 1938 for you folks. It was their fifth one. They would go on to do a lot more due to the success of this. So I'm going to be doing my review of notes on my phone. So if you see me looking down and trying to read my notes and not giving you the eye contact that you deserve, that's the reason why. All right, so this is another 15 chapter long one. It does have a sequel a few years later that we're going to knock out next. And so forth. This is a superhero serial, one of the earliest ones from 38. It's 4 hours and 24 minutes long. It's about 2 hours, roughly. It's about two, or we might be make it more like, an hour and like 45 minutes longer than some of the previous ones that I've been doing, 12 episode ones from Republic later on, and so forth. This is the first serial, again, based on a pulp magazine hero. It was a bit violent for the serials, so they made it a little nicer and that sort of thing. The Octopus, the bad guy 2 is also from it too. It stars Warren Hull as the criminologist and the Spider, who is also Major Richard Wentworth. Many people just call him Dick as his main name and so forth. His fiance, and they're heading off to get married in the first episode. When we first see them is Iris Meredith, and she's played by the actress is Iris Meredith, and she's playing Nita Van Sloan, who knows his secret, and he is convinced that he's going to give up his identity as the Spider in that first episode, in the first scene too, and they're leaving to go on an engagement, get married, and then head on out for a honeymoon. And then also it stars as his household. All his household also know who he is, from his butler to his assistants and that sort of thing. One of those male assistants is the character named Jackson, played by Richard Fisk. And then Kieran Duncan plays Ram Singh. For you folks, it's in this household too. Their household names. And then number 2, Ram Singh is definitely a character not played by an Arabian guy, but it's actually an Arabian character. Right? He'll regularly use Arabic terms and stuff for his master, whom he serves in the house. So that is Ram Singh. Is the character, as he's in the household too. He's played by Kenny Duncan and so forth. That is, again, not played by an Arabic person with an Arabic accent and uses Arabic names for his person that he serves, the major, and that sort of thing. So that's happening there too. This is directed by 2 people, James Horner. I don't see it either. And Ray Taylor for you folks. It was written by like 4 or 5 people, a ton of people, so I'll just put them up there for you folks. And so again, the idea here is that a masked crime lord who's leading a syndicate with a costume that looks eerily like the KKK is threatening America. He's named the Octopus. We'll find out his identity in the final episode. He's demanding tribute from railroad tycoons and other businesses of industry at the time, and so forth. And then we'll find out who he is. Again, his uniform. None of his people know who he is, so they don't want to even know. That's a secret. So the outfit that he wears, the Spider wears, not the KKK wears, and the good he does while being struck as a villainous vigilante in the press and with the police outside the law, makes it seem like a huge, with the capital letters, huge influence on Spider-Man. Just as there's no clip show in the second to last or third to last. Yay, good stuff there. It's a solid action scenes, but slower since it's a 15 chapter serial rather than a nicer paced 12 12th chapter, and a couple hours longer, like I mentioned before in the previous one. So overall, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. All my serial stuff is reviewed against other serial stuff. Love its stories, love its concepts, and it feels like a lot of popular, like it's set a lot of the scenes and the stuff, because again, this was the first pulp magazine character hero and so forth. One of the first superhero heroes, and it made tons and tons of money. Everybody turned out from this, right? So it's hugely influential too. So they're going to make tons more, and so forth. I feel like it's very influential for those reasons. I love its scenes and such. I love it. So, and it's such. It's also sets are great. Its costumes are okay, not the best, not the worst, and so forth. And there's a sequel knockout next week again for you folks. And so that's my review of 1938's The Spider's Web for you folks. So there you are. Have you read it? If so, I'm sorry, I read it. If you watched it. If so, what did you think about it? Do you agree or disagree with my 8 out of 10? Do you also agree with what's influence on the Spider-Man is heavy? Heavy. So just let me know what your thoughts are. Now keep them spoiler free in the comments below. I'll link you to this in the comments below in case you're interested in checking that fun thing out. As a reminder, as I mentioned before, I try to dedicate this day to the lost storytelling genre of what's happening with these lost arts and so forth that really sort of pack scenes. And this would too. That's one of the best-selling serials, right? Oftentimes, you wouldn't just go like we would go today. We just go to a movie theater. We see one theater film, we see a bunch of trailers, and then that's it ahead of time. That's all you would see. But there, you would go for a few hours and see a few different things. You would see some shorts. You'd go with your friends, your family, your churches, your schools, your workplaces, right? All that sort of stuff. Everybody would go together and see all the movie stuff together. And you would see a few shorts ahead of time, but they were typically shorter than modern day trailers, and they weren't trailers typically, although there were a few from major films. Typically like newsreels or shorter cartoons like Steamboat Willie that introduced Mickey Mouse, that sort of thing. No, just a couple minutes long for our families. Then the first picture was an A film would be shown after that. Then they would have a serial, and then they would head back to intermission for a little bit, which people would be going back, not talking about the A film, but talking about the serial, right? That's what they're drawn back. What's going to happen? How are they going to survive? How this cliffhanger, often literally, that's where the word cliffhanger comes from. And then how are they going to get back? So let's turn next week, and then the next section would begin after intermission, and then there would be the B film and a couple of shorts before him, and then maybe a couple of shorts afterwards, and then the last serial, and then the end of the day. See how the serials are the last things? Again, that'll keep them back, right? Keep people coming back. Watch those serials, bring them back to the theaters, that sort of thing. Love it lots. Again, so that's why I like to dedicate this Saturday to that. For you folks, yesterday I did my top 10 films of all time. Domestic. Next week I'll do my top 10 foreign films of all time. So if you'd like to check this out. I also just recently did my top 10 martial arts films a couple of weeks ago. I also just recently ranked all my King Kong films, or I did my top 10 Godzilla films. I typically will do films in the science fiction, horror, and fantasy genres that I love so much. That also reviews this stuff too. So if you like this one and you want to check out those, definitely do so. And if you want to check out the serial Saturday too, as well as my reviews of older things in the science fiction, fantasy, and horror genres in like literature, like books and poems and short stories and that sort of thing, definitely check this out. Please hit the subscribe button, the like button, the bell icon if you're feeling frisky, and then let your friends know too. And just watch those things. I think you'll enjoy it. To also do video game reviews on Wednesday rather. And then I try to do a video on Monday. Or I'm going to try to do something that's related to war games like BattleTech or role-playing games like D&D. So there you are, and then thanks. And that's where the name of the channel comes from. The worst thing about notebooks. That's a quote by a French philosopher named Jacques Joubert, who said that the worst thing about them was that they kept us from reading the old ones, right? And this is definitely smaller stuff that I might have forgotten about. Although in this case you're watching it, but you still get the idea. It's hugely influential on the time, hugely influential on our stuff, but we don't have you even heard of the Spider's Web, right? So you get that idea. That's the passion that this channel comes from. And then finally, I just want to thank you so very much for taking some time out of your day and investing it and watching my videos, right? Because we all have so many things that are happening, right, in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spend this time with me, that's incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it so very, very much. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.